Okay, we're live now. Mr. Mike, what up? How are you doing? Good evening.
I'm fine. Good evening.
Can you hear me? How are you doing over there, sir?
Fine. How was the weekend?
Well, it was great. Shout out to the rain. That's been falling heavily over here, like back to back to back. But it's okay. I think it's just making
Yeah,
the weather more cool, so we can, after the whole day hustle and bustle, we can sleep. As we're sleeping now, not so hot the weather. Even despite the fact that it's a rainy season, the sun is still very much scorching over here in Nigeria.
exactly.
How about yours? How was it?
Eventful.
Oh, amazing. So
This,
many
here and
events.
there, this and that.
So many work for crypto and forex traders. Of course, we realize at the moment that the market is bearish, like everywhere
Yes,
is red,
yes,
very
yes.
red. Wow. Well, we're probably going to be talking about some of the reasons this happened this week, and let's see how it goes for the other week before we go ahead and talk about forex and crypto in coming Mondays. Hopefully, it gets better, and should it get worse or get better, whatever happens, definitely have to study what transpired and what factors were responsible for those particular at play in the market. It's not good for some, investors at the moment, while some other people in the crypto market zone, I think is a perfect time for them to jump into the market, buy as much token as they can, so they can sell when the boosts are running. All the same is all good. So tonight we are discussing Metaverse. Basically, this is Metaverse Monday on the money market, and uh, Metaverse has come. Should I say has been around? Should I say the term basically has not really been used that often until I think the Facebook owner, talking about the founder of Facebook, Mr. Mark Zuckerberg, came
Yeah,
out with the whole idea of Meta, and during his speech regarding the meta movement. He mentioned metaverse a lot, and from then it became should I say, an household word as the metaverse. But meanwhile, I think, or I believe, or I've come to realize that even the metaverse houses both the NFTs, not fungible tokens, Web
yeah.
3.0, and the likes. And you are the expert in this field, and that's why you're going to be taking us down these terminologies and, of course, this metaverse market. So get to understand it, not just understand it, but of course know how we can invest and monetize every of the virtual infrastructures in this particular market. So before we move on, just as we do it as
Yeah.
usual, giving out disclaimers, yeah, and announcements. So, guys, everyone listening, this is Money Markets of the Samuel Brown Global Leadership Consultancy, and we have with us here Mr. Mike, uh, known as Meeko, okay, Meekoe at Mekoe. So definitely, he's been working with us for this particular project, the Money Market project. Every Mondays we meet and we discuss different markets, from the forex markets to the crypto markets to the stocks and bond market, and of course the metaverse market, including the NFTs, Web 3.0, and every other virtual infrastructures within that space. So, guys, this is an educational movement, okay? So it is not a a go-to financial advice. You shouldn't take it literally, but do your own research before running with everything we share here. So take this as basically
Exactly.
educational based movement. We are not giving you a go-to strategy to go and invest. So whatever happens, your loss, your wins, it is
Responsible.
actually not to be connected to us. Okay, so just take this as it is, as an educational movement. Do as much as you can, but make sure you do your own research. So I think I'll stop here and allow Mr. Mike take it off from there regarding the announcement and probably anything I've missed.
Okay. I don't have any other disclaimer, honestly. So, we just go straight to it. All right. Before I jump into the whole metaverse thing, let's talk about one other topic we'll be talking about, which is Web 3.0. All right. What is Web 3.0? Well, before we start talking about what Web 3.0 is, let's talk about let's go back a little bit. Web 1.0. Now, honestly, there's no standard, standard to tell us that okay, this is what it actually is, or it just basically an idea. So there's different school of thought on the matter as to what the Web 3.0 is and all that. So let's look at Web 1.0. Okay, Web 1.0. This is, if you remember, or if you have used internet during the late 90s and the early 2000s, you notice that the web pages are usually dry. I don't know if you can hear me.
I'm with you. I can hear you.
All right. The web pages are usually dry. There's no interaction. I mean, you just like one big Wikipedia. You just go there, sort information or check some information, and that's all. So that was the Web 1.0, just the dry web pages you meet online. Then fast forward during the, let's say, around the 2004 and above, came the Web 2.0. Now, the Web 2.0 came with a lot of things. For example, that was not present in Web 1.0. For example, we had the ability to have logins and password to interact with pages, place orders or log into a portal, chat with friends, and other things that were not available on the Web 1.0. We'll give example looking at Facebook. Facebook is not the only company in the world. That's certain company. I'm just using Facebook as an example. With Facebook, for example, you can log in, you can have your own details, your own separate unique details and your own unique interface. For example, if you are logged in as yourself or logged in as someone else, or if you look the interface, your own interface and someone else's interface on Facebook is very different. Why? Your comment sessions and all that notification is usually different from the other person at the other end. This is where the Web 2.0 really differs. That unique content, that login, that special access, that unique ID, that's where the Web 2.0 came in. Then we will look at the current web, which is the Web 3.0. This started around when the blockchain came around.
Okay, I didn't get that clearly. You said the Web 3.0 started, or should I say, came into function during when the blockchain became a thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Before the blockchain, anonymity was not really popular, was not a thing, like it was very common for companies you interact with to sell your data and all that. So you can't really do much online without being tracked and stuff. So without being tracked and targeted by companies. So with the Web 3.0 platform, you had different options. You have the option to go with the regular platform where you decentralized platform where you chat with people and all that, and make transaction online where you can also be tracked and all that. There came in the blockchain, kind of a public ledger, but this is coded, and unlike the ledger, physical ledger, which can be edited, modified, and all that, this cannot be tampered with, cannot be modified in any way. So it created a lot of opportunities. For example, Bitcoin, for example, was built on the blockchain network. So with Bitcoin, you can make a purchase without being traced back to you, and you can.
Sorry, Mr. Mike. I think the line is breaking. Don't know. It
Okay.
just comes out. We are missing some information.
Okay. 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 I don't know where the static began to
Okay,
repeat.
you're talking about Bitcoin that was built around blockchain, and I think that was what started having the issues.
Okay. Yes. Prior to the emergence of the blockchain network, we have, for example, Facebook, right? Another platform where you make transactions like your PayPal and all that, right? I don't know if it's
Yes,
clear.
yes.
Okay. Now, the thing about this platform is that you can be tracked, you can be traced, you can be targeted by these platforms or other platforms. So your data is usually sold to a third party. So with the emergence of the blockchain, for example, you can make transactions without being tracked. You can remain anonymous. You can make transactions anonymously. You can chat or send information anonymously and all that. We have seen whistleblowing and all that have been done because of the availability of anonymity and the blockchain and other available resource. So the blockchain brought a lot of new features that made life or the interaction with the internet different. I mean, probably you have heard of the Silk Road, selling of arms, drugs, and all that in the black market. We're all done using the blockchain, or they always done using sales via Bitcoin and other network built on the blockchain, because tracking is difficult. You cannot be tracked unlike the centralized platform where you can be easily be tracked. And another beautiful thing about Web0 is that you now have the opportunity uh, to own assets without to have total control of an asset, or to own an asset without having a third party barging anytime and take you out of the proprietorship. So that is Web 3.0 for is what we will call this era we are in, or how some are saying that it's still going to become the future. I don't know if it's clear, or are we still having some network breaks?
No, it's clear. It's clear. Although the network is better than before. As it just goes off and on kind of, but your message is still clear. So regarding the Web 3.0, I think I have two basic questions. From your explanations, it's
Okay.
obvious that this Web 3.0 enhances black market activities, because of course black market activities have been existing before, just that it was just
Mm,
more being more technical. But with this
yeah.
availability of Web 3.0, including how the blockchain entirely now, it's not easier for you to enhance black market movements, reducing, or should I say enhancing anonymity, where people can
Yes.
easily hide their identity and others.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay, all right. So in addition to that, despite the fact that the blockchain is a reality at the moment, and we still kind of, it's obvious we still kind of work in the Web 2.0. Can I say we move between the 2.0 and 3.0 intermittently at times?
Not really. We will say we are in the Web 3.0 era.
Okay, no, because what I'm asking is, the Web 2.0 of a thing is more of basically at the login and that things, and your details are quite very much easier to be picked by these third-party organizations. And even at SAT now, some like Facebook, Twitter, and others, Instagram inclusive, and other apps,
Mm,
I think they are still able to pick out these details and share with themselves. But
yeah.
that being said, the Web 3.0 is still very much, of course, existing, taking the blockchain into consideration. So that's what I'm asking. So sometimes we are
Okay.
still moving with these two webs, the 2.0 and 3.0.
Okay. First of all, the web series or the web stage is usually an idea. There's no fixed exactly, but we can
Okay,
tell based on
you went
technology
off.
that
You
very
went off,
much.
please. I think we missed something.
Okay, I mean, basically, the web stages is just an idea. There's no
Okay.
standard to tell us that so and so year is the year that we have web 2.0, so and so year the year we have web 3.0. So different school of thought and different way they perceive things. So this is just a general perception or perspective of what the web stage is. And you are saying if we are moving back and forth between this web 2 and the web 3, right? You
Yes,
are
like we
asking.
are still transitioning to the Web 3, but we have not fully pulled out to the Web 3. What I'm saying is that actually the reality now?
Yes, you can say that is the reality. You can also say that it's not reality. Like I say, it's based on perspective. Let's look at Android, for example. And despite the advancement in the Android technology, we still have the basic thing that was present in the previous generation. For example, despite we have 4G, we can also switch to 3G. Is that not correct?
Can you repeat that, please? I didn't get it.
I said we can look at Android, for example. Despite
Okay.
the advancement in the Android technology, right?
Yes.
We have 4G, right? So can we still use 3G? Is it possible? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Oh, sorry, I went mute. I went mute. Sorry. So, like I was, according to your question, are you saying that can we still use 3G despite the fact that we have 4G present? Is that your question?
Yes, yes.
Well, that's kind of tricky.
It's possible. You can turn on the 4G. Despite, in fact, we have currently we have 5G too. So you can go as far as 3G. Mostly, many network allows it. So my point is, though we are having the features of the past Web 2.0, that doesn't mean we are still going in between. So it's just part of the process. In the past Android series, we also have features that are also present in this current series. So it doesn't mean that we are still in the previous Android generation. No, we are still moving ahead. We just still have support for the previous um, generation. And you're right. Like I said, it's based on perspective, just an idea. This Web 3.0, Web 2, Web 1, it's just usually an idea. There's no standard for what it usually is. So I would say Web 3, we are not fully, personally, I would say we are not really fully into the Web 3 yet because we are getting there. But I would say we are already in Web 3.0, but not fully.
Okay, okay. So at the end of the day, so this is just like a part of like a technological idea, or should I say? So this whole web thing kind of encompasses
Yes.
how we now interact in the internet space.
Yes, it's how we perceive things. There's no standard. There's no standard about it. There's no standard about how it's to be or what year it came out or stuff like that. Just an idea. You meet different school of thought who have different idea of view concerning what Web 3.0 should be, Web 2.0 should be, or what Web 1.0 should be.
Okay, amazing. I mean, so there's one thing I'm also very skeptical about here now. So the thing is, these eras of the webs, which like the transition has happened over the years now.
Yeah.
I'm certain that there are definitely investment opportunities over those period of time. Like probably it may
Yes.
have to do with applications development, software development, and the likes. So, is there anyone that you'd like to share with us regarding how can maximize this already existing Web 3.0 and take full advantage of it regards to investment opportunities?
Okay. When we look at, for example, example, the Web 2.0, we have options to the regular option to buy stock. I think we have very limited options. We had stocks, we have the forex market, and some little things we can do online, like digital products and services that can be done online. For example, affiliate marketing and stuff like that. So if we are looking at the web 3.0, we have more than that. That is where the cryptocurrency came in. That is when the NFT changed the whole way we see things. That is when this metaverse really came into play. Metaverse has been in existence for a while, long time, but it really came into play this period because of the uniqueness of blockchain and all that, NFTs and all that. So it provides a lot of opportunity for people to invest, a lot of options for people to invest, rather than the traditional methods like the ones mentioned before.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much for that. So maybe we'll just go ahead and talk about NFTs now, since you made mention of it. So NFTs, meaning the non-fungible tokens. I sincerely don't know why they are named like that. Don't know why it is called fungible and not
Okay,
non-fungible. Maybe you just explain
okay,
that to us. So meanwhile, it has become very rampant that people even develop, of course, infrastructures online, selling access to those infrastructures, and, even buying some particular like artwork, like work of art,
yeah,
placing it in
yeah,
the online infrastructures. Like it's just a
yeah,
whole marketplace on its own. People, but the thing
exactly.
I've observed about it that it is highly luxurious. I have not really seen a poor NFT house. It's always a luxurious, like very expensive NFT. Like I think he is broken down into different parts. Like because I also observe the way clubs are now taking the pictures of their, of their players and making it
Yeah.
into NFTs, art, and selling it. Now, I think this is another high level conversation regarding how this whole contract thing will happen between clubs. Clubs get
Mm.
players, they sell their shirts, they do other things. Now they are bringing NFT into it. I'm thinking, I'm believing, definitely agents of football. I don't know if you're highly a football fan. Will probably now be signing agreements that include the club selling their that player's NFTs. This is not more than image rights. In football, there's image rights and is most times exclusive to the person or exclusive to the club which the person is working for. Now that NFT is not involved, I probably don't understand how that works now, but I think this is a conversation that we need to hold, so we can understand how can maximize this, both in investments, in terms of investing into the whole, reality that on ground, or how
Okay,
to make kind of decisions that will make you profit more instead of losing in the long run.
okay, okay. Let's look at what NFT basically is. So I'm going to use let's say, a dumbed down version of what NFT without going into complicated or technical definitions. Let's look at cryptocurrencies, for example. And I know you can mention some cryptocurrency, right? Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and all that,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, exactly.
So let's say I have Bitcoin, two Bitcoin, and let's say the current price of Bitcoin is $30,000, right? The market value. Let's say a Bitcoin is okay. Let's say I have one Bitcoin. Maybe that is a simple example. Let's say the market value of one Bitcoin is um $30,000, right?
All right.
Okay. Now, if you receive this one Bitcoin from me, would the value change, or you're still going to have it's still going to be at the value of $30,000?
I think the value lies in the coin, so the value should remain despite the fact that it has changed hands.
Exactly. So when we look at non fungible tokens, they are not the same. For example, what do I mean? You have two, let's say you have two Bitcoin, for example, I have two Bitcoin, or let's use one. Maybe that's simple as that. You have one Bitcoin, which is $30,000. I have one Bitcoin, which is $30,000, which means both of us the coins that we have is of the same value. Is that not correct?
Yes, that's very correct. The same value for both coins.
Exactly. Or if we use our naira, for example, you have 500 naira, I have 500 naira. It's still the same value, right?
Exactly. Yes, that's the
So
case.
if I'm to go to the shop to, let's say I want to buy something worth 300 naira, you can still get it for that amount because of the value, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Good. But NFT is different because they are unique. Why? No two NFT are the same. They usually work. For example, let's say I have an NFT. The usual is monkey. Let's say I have one that chair NFT, for example, and you have a table NFT, right? Now,
Okay.
now let's say I sell my table NFT for $10.
For
The
ten
value,
dollars, right?
let's say from $5 now, I bought it
$5.
for
Okay.
$5. I'm selling for $10. The value will change, right?
Okay. The network broke there. You are buying for $5 and selling for $10. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Exactly. The value changed, right?
Of course, it did.
But does that make your table value to change too?
Okay. The network is actually terrible. Sorry about that. So I don't know if you have to put it off and put it on back.
Okay.
It's breaking.
All right. Let me try.
Okay. All right, guys. I'll wait for Mr. Miko to join us again. So I'll just go over what I've said. So the Web 3.0 is basically just an advanced web transitioning from the 1.0 era to the 2.0, then now to where we are now. Basically, enhanced by the blockchain technology. Okay, so the basic benefit here is that anonymity is highly promoted. So you get things done in the internet world, which is the metaverse in this case. It's very separate from the universe, and you are very much in an anonymous,
It's clear
like
now.
you are. Okay, you're back. Okay, Mr. Miko is back now. So we'll just continue where you stopped. We're talking about you purchasing and using chair and table to make reference to the NFT and how you might have purchased it
Cryptocurrency
for
is
chair.
currency.
Okay, I
Does
didn't
that
get
make
that. You were
any
saying
sense?
something. Can
I
you
say
say
if
that
I
again,
want to
please?
put it very simple, can you hear me?
Okay, yes, go ahead, sir.
I said let me put it in layman's terms. Cryptocurrency is basically currency, and NFT is basically property.
Oh, amazing. Crypto is currencies, then NFTs are properties. So, yeah, I'll just write that down
Exactly.
as a quote. And go ahead, sir.
So, which means no two property have the same value, right?
Exactly, yeah, that's true. That's very true. No two properties are the same
So, if I'm
values.
having, if John is selling a table and you can't expect them to be of different same value. It how much they are going to sell. So
Mr. Mike, I don't know
I don't know if you can.
the reception over there is, I think it's quite challenging.
Okay, poor poor reception. Okay, I don't know. Trying to move closer to the window. All right. I don't know if it's clear.
It's better now. It's better now. Can you?
Still breaking. Okay.
Let's just try it out and see how it goes.
All right. So when you're looking at Bitcoin and all that, they are basically currencies, and when you're looking at NFT, they are basically properties. So when you buy an NFT, you basically own it. You know, the value remains until you decide to sell it and all that. So it has a different value a currency. Okay, so you can't tell me that one table is let's say $1, it automatically means all other table are $1, does it?
No. So if I get you right, you're talking about our NFTs as being properties that the values are strictly controlled by you, the owner, unlike
Yes,
currencies that are dependent on that factor.
yes, exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So if you own an NFT, you have total control over it. So you can decide to sell it or whatever you want to do with it. So different things can be used on NFTs. Yeah, you can use like you already know 3D picture, video. Almost anything can be used as an NFT, and that is where the metaverse comes in. Well, before we move on to the metaverse, I hope the NFT cryptocurrency is clear.
Yes, the analogy of the NFT and cryptocurrency is very clear, very clear. So if I should reiterate on what you have said, so the NFT's values, like I said before, are basically values that is driven by you. Like you control the value unless until you want to sell. So the markets may not decide depending on your desperation. But for the cryptocurrency itself, even if there are so many factors that decide it, but personally you owning or holding it does not keep the value intact. It fluctuates as the market moves. So I think that's
Exactly,
basically the summary of
exactly. So you
everything we
can
talked
basically
about.
see it as currency, and also property. So
That
easy
works.
to
That
see.
works. Correct properties. That works.
All right.
We were saying something about the metaverse.
Yes. The metaverse has been in existence for a long time. I think Facebook brought it to the attention of uh, to a lot of people. What is the metaverse? The metaverse is just basically a platform, a virtual platform where you do stuff that you normally do in real life. For example, buying plot of land, throwing a concert, having discussions and all that. So Facebook is not the only one into this metaverse thing. There are other platforms that has been there. For example, the Central Land has been there, and other
The,
platforms
the,
too.
the central
Okay.
and how do you call it?
Yes, the Central Land.
The central and okay. I wanted to be sure. Because I've heard of them
Yeah.
before. I wanted to be sure that was something you're saying. The central land.
Yes, the Central Land has been around for a while, even before the Facebook CEO decided to announce his towards that direction. From where you can do stuff like buying land, building character, and all that. So, what Metaverse is basically about is just like a virtual reality that looks similar to the real world. So, different platform with different metaverse features. For example, uh, the one Facebook, according to the Facebook director, is going towards the direction of uh, augmented reality and virtual reality. I don't know if you have heard of those terminologies before.
Yes, I've heard of both of them, augmented reality and virtual reality. Most times it's quite confusing. Okay, the thing is, there's universe and now there's the metaverse. The universe is us having that human feeling, that human touch and other things. Now the metaverse is not the virtual form of it. But the fact that we now have the V arrow and the A arrow is very confusing too. So maybe we just need to
Okay.
understand these key things before driving.
Yes. Yes, it will be explained. For example, let's look at the VR. So it is an completely immersive experience that replaces real life environment with a simulated one. For example, in real life, you have land, correct? You have
Yes,
people,
we
right?
mm-hmm.
So in the virtual reality, reality only that the only difference is that it is a simulated one or a computer generated one. So you have similar situations like land, businesses, and all that. That is simply VR. Then when we look at augmented reality, these are real life. It augments your surrounding. That is real life, adding element to live view by using the camera, either on your smartphone or on a head piece or headgear. I don't know if you have seen those headgears before.
Headgears, like, is it the one
Okay,
that we are doing video games?
similar to that. Let's if probably after this talk, I want you to look at something called HoloLens. It was developed by Microsoft some years back. It's a lens whereby, for example,
Oh no, no.
when you put on
Sorry. I think is this one similar to the one that Facebook bought recently, like that high? It's more of like
exactly
a.
Oculus, exactly
Thank you. Is it Oculus, right?
yes,
What is it called?
Oculus.
Oculus. Okay,
Oculus, it's a
okay.
headgear, it's a device, it's a virtual reality device which can also be used for augmented reality. It's a device that you can use in a simulated world and all that. So, um, I will get back to that. HoloLens have been developed by Microsoft to for engineers and others used for virtual reality. For example, when you put on this lens, if for example you want to get the experience or how standing on the moon will look like, you can easily simulate it in these glasses. You can look like when you wear these glasses, you have this feel of being on the moon. Then, or if you want to work on project with other engineers, for example, if you're an engineer, you can easily work on a similar project using these glasses. You can, you have seen in movies where people uh, move some holographic objects in the air. I don't know if you have seen such situation.
Okay, yes, I've seen more of like they're using their hand to draw some elements that are not really
Exactly,
visible to anybody, but just
Ex-
to them.
exactly, and I can tell you that it's always has already been in existence for years now. So Microsoft developed a lens like that. I think Google was also working on something like that. So you can easily move things around, and with this lens, you can be watching video. You can look at your wall. You can see a video. For example, you can see a video clip on your wall. You can stick a video clip on your wall and start watching. Or you can go through your WhatsApp list and all that just by moving your hand in the air and all that, interacting with it. So that those are augmented reality in the sense that it is real life, but there are some things you can see in real life via camera. I mean, like a WhatsApp popping up, bird flying, for example, some digital bird flying around, for example, and all that. I don't know if it's clear.
Okay, so with this now, the difference basically is that in the virtual reality, how is it that that one is not happening? You using like it's still very confusing to a very large extent. Too. Like
Okay,
the augmented, like, okay, let's go ahead, please.
okay. Let's look at the virtual reality again. All right. In the virtual
Okay,
reality, everything you see is generated. For example, you don't necessarily to use a lens to be part of a virtual reality. Let's look at game, for example. If you play a lot of games, you can see a reality, or even if you don't play a lot of games, you are seeing people play games, video games. You can see they usually buy boost and all that, and buy health or buy land. You have seen people building, playing video games online or somewhere. You can see them doing stuff in the digital world. I mean, in their computer. I don't know if you have seen that situation.
yes, I think even football games too and others. Do that, does that?
Exactly. Those are called virtual world because they are not real. They are computer generated space. That's what we mean by virtual worlds. Just like virtual money. I don't know if you are familiar with that term. Can you hear me?
Okay, I want to be sorry. So, like according to what you have explained, and the virtual world is basically just the virtual world. There is nothing you can do about it. Everything there is fake. Then for the augmented reality
Exactly.
world, the world where you are actually doing ratings, but you are enhancing it with technology to make it either faster or more seamless.
In a way, for example, in that reality, just a game, you can do things in that reality or gaming, for example, but that does not apply to real life. For example, you want to buy plot, you want to buy boost if you play games and all those kind of stuff. Those are done in the computer. Is that not true?
They are purely digital.
Exactly. Okay, let's look at football. You were mentioning football. There's a field in the football when you are playing video games. Is that true?
Can you say that again? I didn't hear that. The network broke.
Field, a football field. You see a football field when you watch people playing video games. If you play video games, is that not true? I believe
Yes,
the
yes.
line is still breaking.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. I don't know
Okay.
if you can.
So I was saying, I was responding to your question regarding the feed. So I said yes, there is a football pitch during when playing those games.
Exactly. That football field is a virtual one, not a real field. So that is basically a virtual world, a virtual reality. I don't know if it's
Mm.
clear.
Yes, yes, it's clear. That's clear.
So that is a simulated environment. You are simulating real life field. So that is basically when we are talking about virtual world. That's basically what a virtual world is.
Okay. Okay, I think
So
that's
in the
clearer now.
okay, in the virtual world or the computer world or the video game world, you can buy land, you can create stuff and all that. If you're into games, that is, you can do stuff like that, just as you would in real life. I don't know if it's still confusing.
No, 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 it's not. I think it's perfect now. I understand well
Okay,
now.
that is the virtual world. Then we have the augmented world. Okay, now the augmented world is just like you looking through your glasses and you are seeing everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can see the other thing is you can see other things apart from the real world. For example, you can be like you said you have seen in movies people operating stuff out of thin air. You have seen, yeah. So they can still see others around them, but they can still see some things that they are operating, which is unique to their lens. Is that true?
Exactly. Yep.
That is what we call the augmented world. It's the real life with just some features of 3D. You can for your perception or view only.
Maybe we should even call it 5D. But we probably
Okay.
started with 12. I think taking it back to Africa, I think we can even relate it to how, humans are seeing their fellow humans. Then they start seeing something strange, maybe a very strange, probably from an Hollywood movies. So I think that can work
Okay.
as an example for the PRO explanation. Talking about augmented reality, like you see in our Nollywood movies where shout out to Nollywood and what they do over there over the years.
Okay.
So you see like two humans, they are working, then suddenly a spirit appears and only one person seeing it. So that can work as an augmented reality, right?
Yeah, you can walk. Yeah, that can work. Yes, that can work as an augmented reality. So one person is, for example, wearing the lens and can only see that while the other person cannot.
Cannot see. Interesting.
Yes, or the other person can share it if the other person is also wearing such similar hardware, such similar glasses or device.
Okay, amazing.
So
So
that is
basically
okay.
now we have a basic understanding of these three things: now the metaverse, the NFTs, and of course the Web 3.0 now. So now
Yeah.
we definitely subsequent podcast session talking about how you can maximize it, making investment and find ways to get profit from it. But before we go to those podcasts, if there I still believe there are so many information regarding this three stuff you still like to share with us, and I'd like us to go straight away because we are spending almost an hour already. The time is no longer with us. So, but the floor is still yours. I can go ahead now.
Okay. I wanted to bring this fact up because that is what the Facebook horizon is all about. Facebook calls it horizon. We have different metaverse platforms. So whenever you hear metaverse, it's not just about Facebook. There are other metaverse platforms, like I mentioned earlier. We have Decentraland. We also have the Sandbox. That's another total different metaverse. So each has its own way of doing things. For example, in the Decentraland, you can buy land. I think in the Sandbox, you can also buy land too. However, Facebook is still working on its horizon, so it's still moving towards that direction. And according to the Facebook owner, he tends to make it change to revolutionize the whole social network thing. For example, what is the need just testing someone on Facebook when you can just put on your device and you can all sit in a room, or if there are a lot of you, you can just sit in a room and chat. So he tends to bring this thing to life. For example, you can all sit down, discuss idea in a virtual world. I will talk about the virtual, which is simulated one. So in a virtual world, you are all sitting down in using different avatar. For example, cartoon, for example. So you can be in place of a cartoon. Another person can be in place of a cartoon in a room. So I can be, for example, Legend of Eng avatar. Another person can be another avatar. That's an example. Sitting in the room discussing rather than just texting. So it plans to bring that to life. So I'll be sharing my screen right now. I'm going to the Facebook website
Okay, okay,
where you can learn much about the Facebook Metaverse. It's an ongoing project. The director or the owner of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, has invested a lot on this, and that's where it says the future of the company is going.
okay. All right. Let's
Okay,
see.
I don't know if I'm sharing this correctly. From camera, from screen. All right, all right.
Okay, can see your screen.
Okay. So about facebook.com/metaverse metaverse. So you can
They are basically changing the interaction game from testing, now having person-to-person interaction. They
yeah,
are reducing
yeah,
the feeling, like creating alternative. Let's go online. Let's go out of the physical world, man. The thing is, people are actually subscribing to this new idea of doing things differently, and these old metaverse developers, softwares and app developers, they they're actually prime now well positions to collect all the money from those. The thing is, even on in this metaverse, so we are going to be making purchases, being territorially intelligent. Should I say intelligence? Like expressing territorial integrity. So people are buying their lands, building their houses, making purchases, and I'm very certain they'll be paying taxes to a virtual government. In this case, it will be, the platform that is housing everybody in that metaverse. Let's take Meta, or should I say, Horizon, for example. So it's going to be a perfect world, like a virtually perfect world. Now, my concern is where it definitely bills, taxes, and debt is very short. So we're going to be experiencing those three constants in real life while experiencing that three constant too in the virtual space. Man, I just can't stop laughing around it. All right, please go ahead and share your screen. We're sharing something.
All
You are
right.
muted. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes. The thing is, they are still working on the platform, and it's possible they might tax you. But one thing I don't like about Facebook is the way they choose to sell um, your data. So if you are security conscious, for me personally, I don't think it's a good platform to consider. But if you are not bothered about privacy and all that, I think it's okay. Then one other thing I see downside to this platform or the future platform of Facebook is that it's centralized. They have access to whatever you are doing, and you don't have a full ownership. And I don't think
After
the
First to what? Didn't get that.
I said the platform is centralized. I mean, the way the direction is going to be centralized in the sense that you don't have full ownership of any part of the reality.
The thing is, okay,
Unlike
then,
the central yes.
then like the privacy is almost zero, and they are still functioning in like the Web 2.0 standard, still giving us some of your information. Is that what you're trying to say? That's for the horizon or even the central land.
You don't.
Did you hear me, or should I repeat myself? Okay, recording back. Sorry about the glitch, guys. So just we're back now. So, Mr. Mack, I was asking a question regarding the Horizon. Horizon being a brand for the Facebook's own Metaverse. So you were talking about the fact that there's almost zero privacy and it is centralized, right? And that means that they are still operating in the Web 2.0 standard. So I don't know if that's the same reality for Decentraland and every other Metaverse brands that are in this Metaverse space too. Can you hear me? Are you there?
Hello.
Okay, did you get my question?
No, network problems.
Okay, sorry about that. So I was trying to confirm regarding your earlier submission that the Horizon, that's the Facebook brand of Metaverse, if I got it right, they have almost zero
Okay.
privacy. And so it means that they are still operating in the Web 2.0 standard. So I wanted to confirm, is it the same case for the central land, or is it just only for this Horizon that is operating? And of course, other Metaverse brand too. Is this how they are operating? Like they are not integrating the whole blockchain ideology of Web 3.0, that anonymity. Like you are building
That
virtually and your details are very much with them. Is that the case?
Yes, that's the case, and that's the problem. So, Facebook is creating a metaverse platform different from other metaverse platform. Fine, it's awesome in the sense that you get to put on some headgear or some headset and feel like you are in a virtual world or a simulated environment. And you can do stuff like play tennis, you can play the casino and all that. You can interact with people as you would in a real life in the simulated one. But the problem is that it's not built on the blockchain network, and probably are going to be using real money and all that. So whatever you do on that platform, you won't have complete ownership. I mean, Big Brother, Zuckerberg will always there to with your personal information and all, as has always been. So that is different. With other platforms such as Central Land, anything you buy, for example, a plot of land, is totally yours because it's using the blockchain and they're using the NFTs. It's an NFT. So when you are buying land, it's totally yours. So the Central Land does not have ownership over that land. You are the one who have ownership over the land. So that makes it different from the Facebook Horizon. That platform, though it's different, it's just the simulated one. They don't have I've not seen the augmented section. They only have the virtual one where you just create character. You don't need any special headgear to play games on the platform or buy land, unlike the Facebook Horizon where you need this hardware to operate.
Okay, so it's like Facebook is selling all their devices while while you're working with them. So you have to have an Oculus for it to be very functional in Horizon. Well,
Yes,
I
to
think
get
that's
yes.
a business game, a very serious
Yeah.
business game that will require us to have a conversation around that. So because of time, I would have loved us to talk about how to, to create accounts and to start operating as a metaverse citizen, or as they call it netizens at the moment. NFTs accounts, how to operate, buy, sell, and then of course around the metaverse to building and selling. So since NFTs is highly dedicated to just properties, I think that's same case for metaverse. Maybe metaverse is just an advance. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. You can help us get the information right.
Well, look, if you look at it basically, metaverse is simply a virtual reality compared to the real one, where you can buy land just as in real life, you can host concert just as in real life, you can rent land just as in real life, and other things you can do in real life. Play casino, build games on the platform, display art. So what you can do in real life, virtual metaverse is giving people parallel a reality for people to do such without leaving their home or the comfort of their space.
And even at that, you can be competing with others who are also in that space. So this reminds me of something. I think there are some games online where people compete against themselves. So that's actually virtual anyway. Like if what they call this FP is a particular football league. I don't know if you are aware of it. That FPL, I think I just do some research around it, where people start an online thing, and the on-site performance, like the real life performance of those players. I'm a football fan, so it's quite easier for me to connect with football, football analogies.
All right, all right.
So the real-time performance of like the per week of those football players actually affects their rating in that virtual world. So people are rich team predicting, the performance of those people for the week coming, so they can have higher rating and climb up the ladder in terms of those people perform better than others. So I don't know, maybe that can swear cover up for metaverse, or should I say, a mini metaverse that is already really advanced. But in that case, you can buy players, you can make transfers and others. But it's not really that similar to the NFTs from what I'm saying. The NFT is basically you acquiring, from what I've observed, buying artwork, selling, or taking full ownership and making it having exclusive rights over some properties that you cannot be, going for bidding and making sales. Like that investment possibilities in this case. I would like us to discuss it maybe in subsequent podcast around the Metaverse
All right,
Mondays. We have
all
our
right,
mind ready for that. So
all right.
I don't know. Do you still have some information for us for call it a day? Because basically we have spent more than 1 hour.
Okay. We'll take it. We'll stop at this junction. Think.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Mike and Miko, for showing up for tonight's Metaverse Monday series. Sincerely speaking, it has been, these things are very broad. We can keep talking about them, asking questions, answering questions, and the fact that we are going to be coming back at specific Mondays to discuss this is something that is relieving. In fact, it's exciting for me, and I'm excited, very, very much excited. Looking forward to our next series on Monday. Meanwhile, everyone listening, if you have questions, go to the comment section and drop the questions so we can, pick those questions out and answer them very well on our next series. So I think we're having stock and bonds Mondays this Monday. So I advise you to show up, sincerely speaking, show up so you can get some basis around that. Then that will be the last Monday when we'll be talking about the basis of all these particular different markets. Then from subsequent Monday, you start digging deep, talking about investment possibilities and how you can, make money from all these things. Meanwhile, it is very pertinent for you to do your own research. Very, very pertinent. This is just an education movement. It is not a financial consulting podcast. It's just an education movement for you to have an head start when it comes to investment and understanding all the business around it.
Exactly.
So we're calling it a day now. Thank you for staying with us, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and click the subscribe button, click the like, comment, share, and of course, drop your questions. We look forward to answering them in our subsequent movements. So, Mr. Mike, thank you for doing this with us tonight. Still have some information to share
Thank
for
you.
call it today. Do you have any information you'd have to give out before we call it today, or should just go
I
chill
don't
after a
have
long day?
any. I mean,
Okay.
if they have anybody have any questions or information, I mean, inquiries rather, you can contact me at my Telegram handle or Telegram address at meekoe. I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Amazing. So you heard that right. At MEEKOE Miko on Telegram. Hit him up ASAP. If you have urgent questions to ask, otherwise you have to wait again for the next episode on Metaverse Monday. See you guys next week on Money Markets. Bye for now.